The first corner's the scariest part of any race. You're nervous, everything's going. I got my first road bike when I was 19, and then I was racing about like young lads do, just on the public roads, and then it wasn't until I was 25 that I actually done my race licence, you know, so it was a bit of a late bloomer. I think I was pretty able on a mountain bike as a teenager, but it wasn't until I was sort of 25 that I think I worked my way up and got, I'd sort of worked my way into certain jobs and, eventually got enough money to go and do it, it's because it's all money, that's the biggest killer of the sport, I'd say. I work on oil rigs, sometimes I do building work, I do a bit of mechanical work, I do anything that pays the bills really. I've worked in kitchens, painting super yachts, I've had a lot of jobs. I was a fisherman for a couple of months. Done everything really, so it's, just anything to get, keep the wolf from the door and just keep racing. That's, getting tyres on the bike, getting fuel in the tank. I was actually building drag bikes back at the time, and I got fed up with drag racing because I didn't even really do a lot of drag racing because you spent more time working on the bike than riding the bike, and wasn't for me, so I thought I'll have a go at going around in circles instead. I moved to Northern Ireland in 2016 after the TT. I'd done the Northwest 200, and as always I turned up without confirmed mechanics or any sort of confirmed help. I moved over because we haven't got the facilities in Cornwall, there's no road races. Ireland and Northern Ireland have got amazing facilities for motorsport. Yeah, it's perfect for me. Honing your skills even for the TT, because there's places like, the Tandragee's supposed to be a mini TT, and then, you've got the Ulster Grand Prix. You couldn't really go to a better place to learn about road racing and sort of learn about doing the TT, I went for the TT because it was, I cut my teeth on the road, and the TT, the ultimate road race. This is a 2014 CBR 600RR. Full Supersport engine, full Supersport bike, and it'll be, we'll be racing it in all the Supersport classes right through the Irish road race season and at the TT as well. So this will be my first Supersport bike that I've ever actually raced. So, the last CBR that I had was a Super Stock 600, so we still, we had good results on it. Obviously, because of the horsepower, it's, I think, between a damp or a wet race and a dry race, I think there was about 10 positions difference for me, and it's, I think that's down to the horsepower, because you sort of, if you're on a stock bike, you're 20 horsepower down, which is a lot on one of these, so it's... I went for the Hondas because they're one of the best handling bikes in the world. They've got a lot of racing pedigree. They're a proven race machine. They've got countless TT wins and countless results and wins everywhere, and nearly be stupid not to go for a Honda. Bike prep, it could take minimum, you'd be talking a week. Maximum could be months, It depends on all sorts, you can be waiting on parts, funding. You could be waiting on all sorts, and it's non-stop generally. When you behave. I've got 3 dogs. There's a Czechoslovakian wolf dog. He's the youngest. He's called Wes. And then I've got little Dixie. Nobody knows what she is, and I sort of want to keep it that way because it's more fun. And then there's Lottie, who's a Czech wolf dog crossed with a German Shepherd. Whenever I got her, they were sort of saying, well, she's going to need to be muzzled, you know, because she'd spent so long in the kennels, but luckily she's sort of come good, you know, and I think racing's actually helped that. She gets to interact with people. Here the thing work and it's, you know, and running it. Suspension's been serviced by our guy, the motor's sorted. It's just up to us to build the chassis now and get it all together and looking right. Still loads to do on it, but she's good. We've been away to Spain testing, Cartagena. That was absolutely awesome. The little CBR worked really well. We were well under our personal best lap time, so that was really good. And then I've been working away in the North Sea then just to try and bump up the funds for the start of the season. Feeling pretty run down and pretty tired, but we'll try and get a good sleep tonight, and I think that'll keep us going. We're now heading to the Cookstown circuit. We're heading for the paddock. We're probably going to get lost because I get lost every time I come here. We're going to get set up tonight, ready for qualifying or timed practice tomorrow. We need to get that in before racing on Saturday. The weather's not looking amazing though. We need to get at least 2 signatures for completed race days before we go to the TT this year. So we've got to do that every year. You need to get a certain amount in the previous year and then a certain amount in the current year. So I'm hoping it's going to run on Saturday because we're getting a bit close to the TT now, and you know, it just takes 1 or 2 problems to sort of mess that up. But I think I'm staying positive at the moment. With the way it went yesterday, not 100% happy, but I didn't feel like I was riding particularly great. It's the first time I've had the bikes on a road circuit, so it's a big difference from being on a short circuit. So I'm not 100% happy, but I don't think it's the bikes at the moment. I think it's me. Like I say, I'm not 100%. I've been suffering, I think it's a throat infection or something, but I'm not using it as an excuse, but I think it doesn't help. There's a lot more to come from me. Like, I think I'm better than what I done yesterday. I have got a good team around me. I've got Tommy, Jerry, Jack and Andrew. They would help me basically with everything, just try and take the pressure off me. You know, in terms of motorbike stuff, they take the pressure off me, which does help if you got a spare set of hands.
I'm trying to come as many race meetings as I can, keep the bikes clean, tidy, change wheels, keep him right. It's definitely, why do I do it? I honestly don't know, because it's not for the food, it's not for the accommodation, it's just more for the love of the sport and road racing, to help Forrest, because he's a real down-to-earth, really nice kind of guy.
I've got Emma, my girlfriend. She's keeping me fed and watered and helping out, you know, in every way she can as well.
Before I knew him and before you know anyone, I kind of find road racing, I don't know, it kind of has like a bit of a nervous energy with it anyway, just because of what it is. But when you know someone, it's like a bit different. Like, yeah, he loves doing it and that's great, but at the same time, if he said, oh, I'm jacking it in now, I'd be kind of like, oh, that's not a bad thing, you know? Yeah, I'd be kind of like relieved that he would, because it's sort of a little element of danger, but at the same time, it is a great thing. It's like proper unique, and you know, there's nothing like it.
It can be a bit tough though sometimes. I mean, I wouldn't say any of us are professional. We're trying to be. Sometimes I've got to get involved with a lot of tasks. To be honest, I'm happier doing that as well, because if, you know, it gives me confidence in what's being done. I like to check stuff, so it keeps me at pace, I think, but it doesn't give you any time to switch off at the same time. I'd love to be in that position, but at the same time I like what I'm doing here. So today's race day. Tried a few different things on both bikes. We're going to try a few different things. You know, obviously it's wet. If it doesn't run, it's going to be a bit of an issue, because we need the signatures for the TT, for the mountain course licence. So yeah, it's going to be touch and go today, I think. Cookstown was a tough weekend, because it was the first race of the year. Everybody's got to get back into their rhythm. I've got to do it, the guys have got to do it. Considering the conditions we had, eventually by the end of the weekend we went quicker than we've ever been around there, so that was really good. Next weekend at Tandragee, 3 seconds a lap quicker on the 600 and 3 seconds a lap quicker on the 1000 as well. We've got like 2 weeks of solid motorbike racing. That, you know, that's what Guy said. That's, you know, he said, I want you to have 2 weeks of solid racing at the TT. So that's what we're aiming for. I'm feeling pretty good. We had a really good practice last night for the first night. Set my fastest lap around the island. We were 117.6 mile an hour lap last night, and the conditions weren't great at all. It was really, really windy. I definitely think I can go quicker. I mean, the wind last night was terrible up the mountain. If I could get over 120 mile an hour this week on the 600, I'd be really happy. The bike's actually, it's in a really good place, you know, suspension and handling wise. So I'm probably not going to change it. Once you're sort of happy in, you know, and in that place, I think it's better to keep it there. I might be wrong, but Seems to be working for me, so. All good?
All good.
No word on the weather yet. We're waiting for an announcement. Apparently there's been rain on the other side of the island, so we're just waiting to see if it dries up. Obviously the sun's splitting the trees over here, so just have to wait and see what happens. Gonna try again tomorrow night. I think it's going to be the same format as tonight, so we'll just have to see. It's the way it is. It's either blistering sunshine over here or it's torrential downpour. We were supposed to go out for practice tonight. It's absolutely poured it down with rain, so we're going to go do a lap of the mountain course. At the moment we're at St Ninian's Crossroads. On a flying lap, you're basically flat out and sixth right down through Bray Hill. Over this bridge, the bike jumps a little bit there, and then you're down into the bottom of the corner. It just, everything's compressed, all your suspension's compressed, and you're just flat out then on the gas. We're on the run up to Gorsley now. I would say for me, it's one of the scariest corners on the circuit. It's fifth gear and it's far. Really late apex, you can't see right on the run up to it. The apex is right the way around the corner, it's here. I've got a rough idea on the way through there, but I'm still not 100% comfortable coming up to it, you know. After Cronkavody, you're coming down into the 11th milestone, which is, it's quick. There's no two ways about it, it's very quick. This is the actual 11th milestone now. This corner, again, it's really, really quick. It takes a long time to build up to it. You're out on the far side of the road. Again, it's one big corner out of 2 or 3 corners, and this takes you on your run down the Handleys. There we go, mountain road closed. That's about normal. Coming to the bottom of the Garrow, which they've resurfaced a bit of it. So this is the bottom of the Garrow. It's one of the toughest parts of the circuit. I mean, you can see how steep the hill, the entry to the corner is. The big bikes have a tendency to tank slap on the way out, so it's kind of, it's quite scary, pretty technical.
This will be my 3rd TT. Obviously this year's a little bit different, being sort of rider girlfriend and all that, and being on the other side of it all and having to deal with the whole behind the scenes thing that other people don't see. It's totally different to being just a general spectator when you're part of a team and, you know, so close to people. It's definitely stressful, to say the least. It's quite up and down with emotions, you know, there's a lot of running around. There's a lot of waiting about as well, which kind of makes it a little bit tense. When he goes out, there's a lot of sitting and listening to the radio, waiting for the live timing to update, see if he's gone through here, and once he's back, it's back to normal really, but there's definitely the whole waiting around while he's out there. That's the worst part, because you don't know what's happening, and even if something does, there's probably quite a good chance you're not going to know for a while what's happened. So yeah, that's definitely the worst part of it. Race week's going to be it's still going to be the same, listening to the radio, seeing what's happening. Fingers crossed. I mean, I'll just be happy that he comes back home, and he'll obviously be pushing for results and stuff, but you know, if he's happy, I'm happy.
We're just making the final preparations to the bike. Last night obviously was cancelled because of weather. There's nothing we can do about that, unfortunately. So the bike's been ready really for the last 2 days. We're just making minor adjustments. We've just got tyres fitted up at Dunlop. We've been up to Ernie Coates Motorcycles. He does race spares and race supplies for all of us guys in the paddock. You know, any spare parts that we need, anything that falls off the bike, if he can't fix it, he usually knows somebody that can. We had a bit of an issue the other night with grip into the tank, you know, with your knees. So we've got these tank grips which should stop us sliding around as much. It's a little difference, but it can make a lap a lot more comfortable in my eyes. That should be it. That should make a big difference, that. So it's more for the high speed stuff up on the mountain, or the longer, faster turns. I think it's going to make the bigger difference for me. You alright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'm warm or cold, like I take my jumper off.
How's it going?
And then
That's alright.
Can't sign this for Maria, mate.
Aye, definitely.
It's for their ambulance. She's going to get washed off.
Tidy.
How's things going?
Ah, not so bad. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Take it easy, man. I'll come see you. Come see you when I'm home.
No problem,
So we're just getting the bike scrutineered. We've had to come up without the belly fans. We're now just checking down below in the fairings. Check the foot pegs. We've checked everything really. So hopefully we'll get to go.
That's fine, mate.
Right, so we'll park it up then.
Yeah,
That's right. Lovely.
The wind speed currently is about 20 to 22 mile per hour, so we've got good visibility, we've got dry conditions, and just to confirm that tonight's schedule will be as it should have been last night, that is Superbike, Super Stock, Super Sport.
Successful practice, 4 laps, 2 on each bike. We're getting a bit quicker on the 600s. We're in a really good place. I mean, it's consistent, which is great. So we're just going to keep trying to build on that and build a nice sort of rhythm. We went on the big bike as well. I've just broken my personal best on that. We've just broken the 120 mile an hour barrier, so that's really good. So yeah, looking forward to racing next week.